Hello and welcome to the Swamp Goblins. I'm your DM, Ash. I've been creating a new tabletop light game that uses so much of the D&D 5e system that at this point we just call it that or elementals. Now, as we're uploading our D&D sessions after already having played for a bit, it's going to require a little bit of a recap and an introduction, and that's what this message is for. Now, before I introduce the characters, here's what to expect from this campaign. You can expect there to eventually be godlike issues, but what's more important are the mundane issues along the way. Whether it be trying to get a shopkeeper to craft a worm plushie for Thekus, or helping invite a vampire back into their house they left for too long. We're a heavy RP group, but definitely have dangerous combat encounters. This is a full-on sandbox-style D&D where they decide where to go. Now, for a little detail on the world. In this world, all humanoids are born with magic. This magic is more so elemental than the regular encompasses all. We have fire, ice, water, air, lightning, shadow, light, earth, and plant type of magic. And along with that, they're split even further in the subclasses along with those types. Now, because these classes are all being made still, there are going to be times when certain rules change because we figure out they're busted or too weak or just need an overhaul completely. I will never change a spell mid-game. If a change needs to happen, I'll announce it at the start of a session, so when someone figures out something crazy, they're allowed to pull it off first. Now let's actually get into the world. We find ourselves on the continent of Kor, with the players currently in the city of Zabrez. Surrounding Zabrez is a canyon, making a large donut around this raised mound. In the canyon around are countless creatures, lots of them being from the collision, burrowing small homes into the walls. The city built on shadows, but not quite the metaphorical shadows. Buildings are built out of these small purple marbles that have shadows pushing out of them to make these large cubes, making up majority of the buildings. They can be shaped however the creator wants. This leaves them with purple veins holding the block together, and it takes a small amount of energy for the person to hold up, and that's how majority of the buildings are in this city. All the players are new to the scenery, and this is just a stop along the way to a different city, but maybe they'll find something worthwhile here. Now for the players.
Hi, I'm Moxis Avarice of the Goblin Clan Avarice. I am a goblin, just like so many of my companions. I've got light green skin, like a goblin, and big old floppy goblin ears, and so many good sharp goblin teeth, very normal yellow goblin eyes, and long, white, messy hair. I like to keep it that way, just tied back. Some of it gets in my face, but that's okay. I like the aesthetic. I really just left my clan because I wanted, first of all, I wanted to see the world. It kind of kept me locked up. And second of all, they don't make money in a good way. And I thought, I can show them that we can make money in like a nice, cool way by taking jobs and stuff. Um, I'm a plant type. I do a lot of healing. I keep everybody alive, even when they spend their boons on taking energy instead of health, so then I have to take the energy so I can heal them. I keep them all alive and like resurrected and stuff. Never gonna have to use that.
Edison Faraday, nice to meet you. I wear many hats. I'm an adventurer, acrobat, storyteller, amateur biologist, business owner, philanthropist, and most importantly, a father to my 42 beautiful children. To paint a picture, imagine, if you will, a human man, strong of jaw, chiseled physique, alabaster skin with a bald head gleaming like starlight. That describes me? Not at all. I've got dark skinned, a thorn whip by my side, a majestic red coat lined with luxurious purple silk, and 2 feet of beautiful billowing afro crowned with a, if I do say so myself, stately top hat. As a newly minted lightning type, my abilities shine when I'm with a group. If I'm not enhancing the abilities of my peers, then I'm dealing out damage to a shocking degree. Pun intended. I've had no shortage of blessings come into my life, and I'm excited to see what else this great wide world has in store for me. That's it.
So Tevye is an elf. He's about 5'5", slender, fair skin naturally, but he's got like a sun glow thing going on. Scruffy mane of just chestnut red hair that ends in about a point about his mid back, and dark hazel eyes that shift between bright and attentive and ready for mischief to distracted and sidetrack about as quick as a daydream or something sparkly. He's got two little colorful crystal studs, like near the tip of his right ear, but otherwise his clothes are pretty basic, just loose and practical, and probably once colorful summery shades, but they've been pretty faded, from the road. And he has a leather utility belt with all kinds of little gadgets and tools going on there, um, and just a basic short sword. As far as Tev's vibe goes, he is all about not taking life too seriously. He's here to have a good time and to get everything out of the ride that he can. And if there's one lesson he'd say he'd learned in his paltry 32 years of nearly immortal life, it's that you have to make your own fun. And sometimes other people don't want you to have fun, and that sounds like a them problem. He doesn't mean any real harm. He's just gotten a good dex roll thus far for squirming through moral gray areas. He's excitable, positive, quick to react, but also really impulsive. And he rarely thinks all the way through the consequences his actions might have on others, or for himself for that matter. He's not really accustomed to playing with others, and it shows. But after everything he's been through with the swamp goblins, from being just a little cursed that one time and nearly getting Thika's killed within hours of meeting him, from getting swallowed alive with all of his friends, to being scraped off the floor of a lava-ridden ravine after descending it the fastest, to just in general finding a few other people who actually want to kick it with him for the long haul and who don't seem to mind his shadow magic and his shady little creepy critter friends, or even just him being his obnoxious, impulsive, childish little self. Yeah, and actually have his back, without even realizing it. I think they're all more and more becoming realer to him than most people in his life have been. He's just really not used to spending much time thinking about what anyone else is thinking or feeling, and he's becoming just a tiny bit more aware of others and the complexity of the world once you start looking too close. But he doesn't want to look that close. He's mostly, he's just here to have a good time and accidentally learn things, maybe every once in a while.
Hello there. My name is Thika Stormp. I am a 7'11" furbolg with light blue fur and a dangly little cow tail. And I wear some regular, run of the mill tunic, whatever, clothes. I'm a water type elemental, which is better than all of the other ones. I'm a bit aloof and I tend to be blunt when I speak. Tend not to beat around the bush, so to say. And one sort of big moment in my life was parting from my island that I'm from. I grew up on this island, and I separation from it is definitely a large has had a large effect on my life thus far.
So, those are the players, and we can't wait to share this adventure with you. We have a few episodes backed up because of starting this podcast late, and so for this reason, for the next couple of weeks, we'll be uploading episodes on Friday and Monday. Hope you enjoy, and see you there. Hello, and welcome to the Swamp Goblin. Now, this is not a required episode of Swamp Goblins, however, it will tell quite a bit of what's happened to them thus far, and there's been a bit. So if that's what you're here for, then feel free to stay and listen to this short story. Or you can go and play detective and just start the series without any information. I won't judge. Now, for the beginning, we find ourselves in the jailhouse of Veroko, a city which is constantly filled with rain and constantly going to war. 3 people had been put in prison, and none of it for any good reason. An innocent goblin named Mox that just wanted to meet new people. A frog person just chilling on the outskirts. and a kidnapped furbolg by the name of Thecus. They were brought to a dungeon experimentation area where they felt their powers being zapped from them into a large crystal. One of the members then punched the crystal as hard as they could. It exploded, sending them falling down deep into a well sewer-like system, waking up with their powers again and a new face beside their waking bodies. A dark-skinned human by the name of Edison, who was also being chased by the guards for no good reason. Running through the sewer system, they found a tunnel that led to a secret underground city ran by the Rat King. It was named Vanish. Coming down here, they quickly needed to find some work, and going straight to the source, they talked to the Rat King, who resided in a hidden sewer department. Having a bar and several offshoot rooms attached with some humanoids moving like clockwork dolls, the Rat King had a cloak of shadows that covered his face, leaving just 2 yellow eyes protruding. They went on several missions for him, clearing out monsters, exploring a high-tech dwarven lab, joining up with another adventurer, Henrietta, to find out information about the wars going on around them. During that mission, though, they came across a magic shop owned by Sislin, an elven wind type. A few bugbears took over the shop and killed Sislin, but bringing back her body to the Rat King, he animated her, and they found out her last words with a promise of bringing her back to life. On their final mission, they decided to take some underground supplies to the city of Kuroto for money and a change of scenes. Along the way, the frog person left the group to go travel with a different group, hunting a witch, while the rest marched onward on giant worms of changing colors. Kuroto was a big open city, known as the Heart of Kor. For its constant trade routes, everyone was welcomed here, and it was quite a nice change from the previous town. Staying with a friendly furbolg by the name of Tav who ran Tav's Tavern, they picked up some more work. They decided to make some money by doing some jobs on the bulletin board in the center of town. Apparently, a well outside of the town was haunted and people were going missing by it. Departing for that early in the morning, they were stopped part way. They had found a mechanical man, war-foraged, and a small half-elf boy. They were apparently working on the same mission for different reasons and all decided to team up. When they got close to the well, half the party had the desire to jump in and were greeted by plenty of zombies and a small puzzle. Thecus, the blue furbolg of the group, actually found himself getting tossed down a death pit at 0 health with no allies close. While combat raged above, he began talking with a woman who ran the in-between of life and death, the Raven Queen. Barely able to convince her to let him go, he found himself at the bottom of the hole, clinging to the sides, holding himself above a portal and shouting for help. As the others solved the puzzle, they fished him out and continued on their way. When they reached the end, they found some powerful undead creatures with plenty of zombie spawn and an altar powering them. After destroying the altar and the stronger of the undead, all the zombies crumbled, leaving them with the remains of an underground church to Kellamvor. Reading over the diaries left in the church and researching a bit at the library, they found out that the church was likely actually being powered by Orcus, the god of the undead, who was pretending to be Kellamvor. After that mission, the mechanical man passenger felt he had to go on a different mission and didn't want to take the elf child named Tevia with him. Without anywhere to go but making a reliable ally, the group let Tevia join them. While in the city, the goblin Mox found a school for plant types and made the most of it, while the others enjoyed the scenery. However, the new member to the group, Tevia, had begun to notice some different things, an inability to sleep and starting to attack members in the middle of the night. He was cursed. Looking into it, and they couldn't find a full-on cure to the curse because the curse still had someone anchoring it. In the meantime, swamp goblins took on another mission. People were disappearing in this weird mist a few miles outside of town. When they found the mist, Thecus noticed a symbol of the Raven Queen along his chest and started to glow. When he walked into the mist, he found himself in a different area than the rest of the group. While the others walked through the mist, their memories were shot into others. Eventually, they all held hands and walked into the mist to find a child halfway into the ground being dragged deeper by zombie hands, crying out for help. Running in, they found out it was a trap, as some kind of worm creature had been altering the image of the scene. On a closer look, the child was actually just a doll, and the zombie hands weren't even real. After defeating it, they went forward and found a Raven Queen crest on the ground, being taken over by some other kind of crest with plenty of undead on it. After killing all of the undead, the Raven Queen symbol shined again, and a giant castle appeared in front of them. Going through, the whole castle saw a figure that had been haunting Tevia. When they got close, they figured out it was more so a mirage. When they went through the whole castle finding a mirror that they could scry on people and lots of lore of the past, every room seemed to deal with memories of creation of some sort. Seeing the man that haunted Tevia plenty of times in the castle, they decided to name him Shipboy the Bad Man. With signs that Shipboy the Bad Man was traveling south east to Zabrez and interested in the mountain city of Kosai, they began to travel there. But before they traveled there, in one of the rooms of the Raven Queen's mansion castle thing, they had found a pool table. They had taken it back to their favorite tavern owner, Tav. Along the way to Zabrez, though, they had ran into a camp of people claiming to be disruptors in training. Disruptors being a group known for causing plenty of trouble to cities, but especially to the city they all hated, Varoko. They decided to see what this camp was doing and found out that they were trying to lure a tribe of giants into an army of Varoko people using a trail of fruit. Swamp goblins went to the tribe of giants and found goblins that came forward to do the talking for these prone giants. The giants were missing an artifact that helped keep away a sickness. Apparently, when giants don't have this moonstone orb, they start to absorb the ground around them and become chaotic and can't work in a tribe like that. This tribe had lost that orb and were just waiting for the end to come. Swamp goblins and a member of the disruptors, Soren, offered help. They found out the creature had ran to underneath a large metal bridge that held the continent together. When they went to the bridge, two of the members, Mox and Tevia, accidentally slipped off their rope and fell 150 feet, leaving both of them nearly dead with permanent damage. After that, it was a series of rooms they went through till they found a scaled beast who spoke telepathically to them, claiming it couldn't return to its water tribe because recently it lost its ability to breathe underwater for some reason, and that was why it needed the moonstone orb. Offering the scaled creature a new home in the tribe of giants and golems, they were going to return the orb. But Edison and Thekus spotted something in the lava behind this creature. They spotted a handle to a sword, and getting Soren to reach his hand in, they grabbed it out and found part of an artifact that they had been looking for. A sword called the Sword of Memories. With that, the scaled beast had joined the group of giants and goblins as they returned the orb and agreed to attack the Varoko army. Now they continued on their way, leaving the disruptors, but still needing a way into the city of Zabrez, as the gorge around it would be a dangerous trek with monsters laying at the bottom, or they could find a way to fly to it. Within a few nights, they found two people that actually had tamed manticores that they used to fly people into the city. After hitching a ride on the manticores, they found themselves in the city, and they heard a man yelling for help. A man with particularly sharp canines and a cloak and a pretty light complexion. The man declared he needed some help at his house. After going through a series of alleyways, corridors, and open market, they found a mansion ahead of them with an open door. The man just asked them, "Can you walk inside and invite me in?" After a bit of debate, they finally did, and they did discover he was a vampire, but a rather nice one. He wasn't a bad guy. Now with that, the vampire Kadar offered to take them over to a opera where they heard a wonderful story about how the city got rid of its last king to return to the state of anarchy and how it's happier here. And after that, they got their bones repaired from the 150-foot fall. And that is where we leave off. And that is where the story starts. Thank you for listening. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you for joining the Swamp Goblins.